As a dietitian working with new parents, one of the most common reasons that parents come to see me is for concerns about how their baby is tolerating their formula. Their precious bubba may be refusing feeds, developing rashes, having sloppy poos, or crying after a feed. And as a new parent, it breaks your heart. Sometimes the solution is to swap to a different formula. Now, there's also a second group of parents who want to change formula brands for their own personal preference. They may have found a different brand which is cheaper, more in line with their worldview, or easier to access. Either way, changing formula brands can feel like a daunting process, especially if it's the only food that your little one has ever known. But it doesn't have to be. Stay tuned, I'll explain. Greetings, welcome to Nourish. I'm Melanie McGrice, a dedicated dietitian specialising in nurturing nutrition throughout the critical first 1,000 days of life, from conception to toddlerhood, laying the groundwork for your baby's future health. Make sure that you check out the description box below this video to learn about our free resource on introducing solids and more details about personalised consultations. And be sure to subscribe for more valuable insights. If you're wanting to change infant formula brands, my first most important recommendation is that where possible to undertake a formula change when there's little else happening in your baby's life. You want to assess how well the change in diet agrees with your baby. But if your baby is tired from starting daycare or just getting over an illness, it will be difficult to assess what side effects are a result of the formula change and which are a result of other factors. I also recommend starting a formula change early in the day when you can monitor your baby's reaction, as opposed to just before bed when you may not notice side effects as quickly. Now, there's two common methods for changing infant formula brands. I call them fast and functional and slow and steady. Number one, fast and functional. Keeping in mind that the taste of breast milk changes from feed to feed, many babies aren't fazed by the change in formula flavour. With this in mind, many parents have successfully finished a tin of one brand, then started with another, with few, if any, problems. This method works well if you're changing formula for personal preference, and may also work well if you're changing formula with clear knowledge of the ingredient in the current formula causing your baby problems. For example, if your baby is displaying signs of lactose intolerance and you change to a lactose-free formula. Now, as all infant formulas are different, you may notice a slight change in your baby's poo for a week or so, but unless they're upset, losing weight or pooing less than twice a week, there's unlikely to be any reason to be concerned. Now, option two is slow and steady. Babies who have a history of gastrointestinal side effects and/or colic may better tolerate a slow and steady infant formula transition. This can be a little more complicated for sleep-deprived parents, so I usually recommend the fast and functional method is attempted first if possible. It's essential that infant formulas are made up according to the instructions on the pack, and as they all tend to have different recipes, it's generally easiest and safest to make up both formulas and then mix them together. Traditionally, it's recommended that 3 parts of the old formula be mixed with 1 part of the new formula. Once your bubba has nailed this combo, move on to a half-half ratio, and then you may decide to progress to a 3-to-1 new to old formula combination, or simply skip this step and move straight to the new formula at this point. Now, if you're hesitant about making the swap, it can be helpful to undertake a short log. There are tons of apps available these days to make tracking your baby's responses much easier. Consider logging factors such as their crying frequency, frequency of bowel motions, consistency of bowel motions, sleep times, and/or rashes. Track details for up to a week prior to the swap, followed by at least a week after the swap. It's always a good idea to take photos of any poos or rashes that you're concerned about in case that you need to show them to a healthcare professional. All in all, do your research to ensure that you feel as confident as possible about the brand that you're going to. And if you have any hesitations, seek the advice of a paediatric dietitian. And make sure that you check out some of my other videos on Nourish for helping your baby get a head start in life with the best nutrition. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. You may notice, when you may not. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, full resource that I've put in there for you. And, sorry, I'm ad-libbing there.